Hello, good afternoon. My name's Steve Price and I'm from BWP Inspire. So I just wanted to spend the next 15 minutes with you on this LinkedIn Live because I want to share some things, and I want to start with a number that I think is going to stop you in your tracks. So let me lead with that. 14%. So what is that? It's not a tax rate. It's not an inflation figure. I'll tell you what it is. It's the unemployment rate for 18 to 24-year-olds in the UK right now. That's the highest it's been for 5 years. The fastest rise in across all of the G7. And here's what bothers me. I keep seeing posts about AI transforming business, about automation, cutting costs, about doing more with less. But I'm not seeing many people connect those dots to what's actually happening to young people who are trying to enter the workforce. So what I want to do in this session is maybe just let's start to connect some of those dots. So I see three forces all coming together, hitting at once. And if you're running a business, I reckon you need to understand them because they're already affecting your talent pipeline, whether you realize it or not. So first off, AI isn't just changing jobs. It's deleting the first rung of the ladder. And let me say that again. It's deleting the first rung of the ladder. Every entry-level job postings have actually dropped. They've dropped off a third since ChatGPT was launched. So what we're talking about, admin roles, customer service roles, basic finance positions, the jobs that used to teach young people how work actually works. LinkedIn's own people, they're warning that AI is breaking traditional career ladders. King's College, they've done research. They say removing junior roles breaks the talent pipeline where workers actually develop their skills because they start to get practice. Not theory, practice. So that's number one. Number two, you've got a government making it more expensive to hire young people exactly at the wrong moment. So we know that national insurance for employers, that went up this time last year, 2025. National living wage, of course, keeps rising with inflation. The Employment Rights Act, the reforms to it, they're going to hit in 3 weeks from now. According to other surveys, 75% of employers expect increased costs, and over a third are already planning to reduce their permanent staff recruitment. So look, I'm not arguing against fair wages or workers' rights. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying here. But what about the timing? What about the cumulative effect? It's pushing businesses towards the exact behavior that's actually creating this crisis. So that's the first two. And the third one is that young people are getting caught up in a trap that they didn't build. So we've got, I'll tell you the number, 957,000 NEETs, N-E-E-T. So I don't know if you're aware of that term, but that is a term that the government uses for 16 to 24-year-olds not in education, employment or training. So that's NEETs, just short of 1 million. And that's actually, I'll tell you now, it's 12.8% of that entire age group. Mental health barriers are rising. Transport poverty means they can't physically reach jobs even if they do exist. And for the first time since OECD records began back in 2000, UK youth employment has risen above the European average. So just think about that. We're above the youth, we're above the average for youth employment across all of Europe. That hits hard. Now you might be thinking, well, Steve, this is tragic, but I've got my own problems. I've got my cash flow, I've got my tax bills. To be honest, I'm just concentrating on my own survival right now. Fair enough. But hang on a second, let me tell you why I think this is your problem. So I was talking to a client last month, manufacturing business, decent enough size. Now, he'd automated his order processing, and as a result of that, he'd saved the salaries of 2 people from his admin team. So that's good. That's good for his margins. Then he tried to hire a production supervisor, but he was struggling. He couldn't find anyone. The candidates who applied, guess what? They lacked the basic workplace skills that he'd always taken for granted, and a lot of our generation have. Things like showing up on time, handling feedback, understanding that work isn't always going to be that interesting. You see, he'd optimized his way into a talent desert. This is what happens when you remove the bottom rungs from the ladder. You don't just hurt young people, you destroy your own future leadership pipeline. Now, the government estimates that if we matched the Netherlands youth participation rate, we'd have 567,000 more people in work or education. And the long-term economic boost, well, they calculate that 86 billion. But here's the smaller and sharper point. The businesses that figure out how to hire and develop young people now will have a structural advantage in 5 years to come. While everyone else is fighting over the same experienced, smaller bunch of experienced candidates, those firms will have built their own. So what are the government actually doing, and what does it mean for us, the business owners? Well, Pat McFadden announced 1.5 billion to tackle this exact thing. The youth guarantee. Every 18 to 21-year-old gets access to learning, to a job, or to an apprenticeship. A foundation apprenticeship specifically for young people. 50,000 new apprenticeship places. So that sounds good. That sounds okay, right? But let me translate this, what it means to you as a business owner. Well, first, if you're not tapping into that apprenticeship levy, if you're missing out on that, then you're leaving money on the floor. And worse, you're missing a channel for talent that your competitors are about to discover if they're not already. Second, foundation apprenticeships are being designed for exactly the young people who can't get hired through normal channels. So we're talking about lower barriers, more support. If you've got operational roles that don't require degrees, this right here is your recruitment opportunity. And then third, the new Jobs and Careers Service. So that combines what we know as Job Centre Plus and the National Careers Service. That means them coming together means there's about to be more infrastructure connecting you to young candidates, but only if you're going to position yourself, your business, to go ahead and use it. Now, I'm not saying hire young people as some sort of charity. I'm saying there's some sort of market inefficiency here. Young people with potential who can't get through traditional hiring filters, government money to support their training, and a shrinking pool of competitors willing to do the work of actually going out there and developing them. So let me push on something uncomfortable. I see a lot of businesses automating junior roles, and they call it efficiency. And maybe it is. Maybe it is this quarter. But I want you to think about what you're actually doing. When you automate the job that taught you how to manage cash flow, how to handle difficult clients, how to spot patterns in data, you're not just cutting costs, you're outsourcing your own talent development to nobody. AI doesn't replace the learning that happens in entry-level roles. It doesn't replace it, it removes the role. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm making a strong point here, but I'm not anti-AI. I use it. But I use it, let's say I want to use AI to augment, not to delete. The firms I work with who are handling this well are asking, why does this junior person need to learn? And how do we redesign their role so they're learning it alongside the AI whilst not being replaced by it? Now, that's harder. That takes longer. It costs more in the short term, but the firms deleting junior roles entirely, what's going to happen in 5 years? They'll be paying premium rates for the few experienced people left, or trying to hire mid-level candidates who never got the foundation training because the entry-level jobs just disappeared. Okay, well, that's not too positive, is it? But what are we going to do about it? What should we do? Well, I reckon there's 3 practical moves that us business owners should be taking. So first up, audit your hiring for hidden barriers. Do your job descriptions demand 2 years experience for roles that don't actually need it? Are you filtering out candidates based on credentials rather than capability? The businesses solving this crisis aren't lowering standards. They're questioning which standards actually predict success. So that's number 1. Number 2, if you can get your hands on access to apprenticeship levy funds, which you should be able to do, use them. Don't let it expire. Foundation apprenticeships, digital apprenticeships, accountancy apprenticeships. There are young people in your area who want to work and learn, and the government is literally paying you to train them. At this moment in time, I have 3 people who we're using this apprenticeship levy to train them. And by the end of the year, that number will be 4, possibly even 5. And third, before you automate a junior role, map what that person was supposed to learn. Then redesign the role so they're still learning it, but with AI as a tool, not a replacement. Now, I reckon it's harder than simple automation. It's also how you build a workforce that can adapt as the technology's changing. So I'm going to finish where I started. That figure, that number, 14% youth unemployment, highest in 5 years, fastest rise amongst the G7. Now, you can read that as a social problem, a government failure. You can say it's somebody else's mess, or you can read it as a market signal, a talent pool being overlooked, a structural advantage, waiting for the businesses willing to think longer term than just the next quarter. I reckon the businesses that survive the next 5 years won't be the ones who just cut the fastest. They'll be the ones who built their talent pipeline while everyone else was optimizing it away. So my question to you today is, are you controlling your hiring strategy? Or is short-term cost pressure actually controlling you? That's what I'm going to be thinking about this week. I'd be interested to hear what your experience is. What are your thoughts? What are you seeing in your own business or sectors? I'm just looking to see if I've got any questions online. I can see people are watching, but I don't have any questions on this. So at some point, perhaps over the Easter weekend, while you're watching this, please just consider that in your own business and reflect where your talent pipeline is and what you're going to do about it. Thanks very much for your time, guys.